Now, first one, the rectangular box is designed such that its length is twice its height. So that its length is twice its height and its width is 1 centimeter greater than its height. Okay, find the volume of the box in terms of its height h. Okay, so its height equals h, its width is 1 centimeter greater than its height, h plus 1. Its length is twice its height, which is 2h. Volume of a box is length by width by height. So length by width by height. This is going to be a cubic equation. It's going to be 2h by h plus 1 by h. That is going to give me 2h times, I'm just going to multiply these two first. Doesn't matter which ones you multiply first once you do two at a time. Okay, so I'm going to do the second and third number first. I'm going to get h squared plus h. Then I'm going to multiply it in again. I'm going to get 2h cubed plus 2h squared. Okay, if the volume of the box is 300 centimeters cubed, find the value of h. So what it wants me to do is all of this equals 300. Going to bring the 300 over the other side, and what I'm going to get now is 2h cubed plus 2h squared plus, I'm going to put in 0h just so we know that it's meant to be there but it's actually not there, minus 300 equals 0. We're going to have to find out what h is. Now h can be any factor of 300 I can really think of, to be honest. It can be 1, I'm thinking 2, 3, it can be 10, it can be 5, it can be 30, 50, 60, 15. So look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that the volume is the function f of h. F of h is the equation we just got. Now what I'm going to do is I'm systematically going to test them in my calculator to figure out which one's which. Now we know one thing. The one thing we know is the h value has to be positive, because height has to be positive. Therefore, there is no point testing out minus 60, minus 50. No point. So, yes, Simon? What we're going to do next is I'm just going to use my my table function. And I'm going to try and go from, I'm going to do up in 5 starting off and see if I hit lucky, okay? So what I mean by that is I'm going to do 2x cubed plus 2h plus 2x squared minus 300. Now, what I decided to do this time is I'm going to start at 0 and I'm actually going to end at, let's call it 100, okay? My step is going to be 5. I'm going to get, from this graph, I'm going to find 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. I'm going to get a lot of points in this graph. Okay? So here we go. And as it turns out, we've hit lucky right away. The one value that turns into 0 is 5. Do you see it? 5 is what turns that into 0. So now we know h equals 5 is a root, because remember it has to be a value of h that turns it into 0. It has to fit in there and turn the whole thing to 0. Now if you aren't sure about what we just did, you can go back to the top. H is 5, width is 6, height is 10, because 2h is 10. Multiply them out and you'll find that that's also 300. Okay, so that is also 300. Okay, so we just did what we did before. Okay, now the one thing I didn't do, the reason why I wouldn't get full marks there is I never showed my workings. I actually have to go about showing that f of 5 is 0. So I actually have to show 2 times 5 cubed plus 2 times 5 squared plus 0, and then just plus 0 minus 300. And I actually just have to go about showing that that actually equals 0. So it's going to be 250 plus 50 minus 300 equals 0. And then go up here. H equals 5 is a root. Okay, Frankie, question. A closed cylindrical can has a radius which is 2 greater than its height. Radius is height plus 2. The height is h. Okay? Find the volume of the can in terms of the height. You look up your notes and you see the volume of a cylinder is pi. It's in your maths tables, that is, okay? Then replace R with h plus 2 squared. And replace h with h. Okay.
I get the charger.
Yeah, I know. It's good. Okay. Now, sorry guys. So what that is h plus 2 squared times h. And what we get is h plus 2 squared is going to be h squared plus 4h plus 4. That's this part here only. Then I'm going to multiply it by h. And what I'm going to get is pi times h cubed plus 4h squared plus 4h. Stop it there. If the volume of the can is 75 pi, find the value of h. Part 2. All of this, pi multiplied by h cubed plus 4h squared plus 4h. This all equals 75 pi. The pi's will cancel on both sides. And then I'm going to bring the 75 over to the other side. I'm going to get h cubed plus 4h squared. 4h squared plus 4h minus 75 equals 0. Okay, now that I've done that, what I'm doing next is I have to put this function into my calculator. The possible answers of 75 are 1, 3, 5, 15, 25. These are my answers. I'm not going to do them all because I have a way that, technically speaking, alright, I have to say f of h is this function here. I'd have to test f of 1, f of 3, f of 5, f of 15, f of 25. My calculator tests them all for me, so I'm going to use the calculator. So, do you have a question?
I was just going to say...
Now, what's going to happen is we're going to just use the calculator again, okay? So we're going to mode, the table function's already up, so if you aren't used to it, mode, table. Instead of h's, you're going to use x's. X cubed plus 4x squared plus 4x minus 75. Looking at these, they're all pretty much in 5s, aren't they? So my first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start at 0, I'm going to end at 25, and I'm going to go by 5s. What's the only one I'm not going to get?
3.
3 is the only one I'm not going to get. If I don't get it, I'll try 3 next. And as it turns out, I'm out of luck. Maybe it was the number 3. So I'll go back. Work's already done for me. Start here. I'm going to end at 4. And I'm going to go up in once. This time 3 should be included. Lo and behold, 3 is the answer, okay? So if I don't get it the first time, I'll get it the second time. Okay, h equals 3 is the answer. Alright, and it goes, hence find the value of the radius. If h is 3, the radius is 5.